The morning sun filtered through the glass walls of the penthouse office, but the CEO, Adrian Hale, barely noticed it. His days were always the same. Cold coffee, stock reports, and silence echoing louder than success ever could. He owned a skyline but had no one to share a sunrise with. Yet today, something small and out of place rested on his polished marble table. A handmade birthday card, colorful and uneven, a glitter-covered heart in the middle, and childish handwriting proudly forming shaky letters. He blinked. No one gave him birthday cards. No one remembered except his assistant who scheduled everything. The front read, "To the best daddy I ever met." His breath hitched. He wasn't a father? Confusion tightened his chest as he opened it. Inside were crayon drawings, a tall man in a suit holding hands with a small girl in pigtails, a smiling sun above them, and tiny stars scattered around like magic. And below it, in careful letters that carried more sincerity than any contract he'd ever signed, were the words, "Happy birthday, Mr. Hale. I know you are not my daddy, but you are kind like one. Thank you for letting me stay with my mommy at work when she had no one to watch me. You make her happy because she smiles when she comes home. I hope one day you smile too. Love, Mia." Adrian stared, pulse unsteady. The nanny, Elena, the quiet, gentle woman who worked in his estate's nursery and always slipped out unnoticed, her eyes always tired but dignified, had once asked to bring her daughter because childcare had failed that day. He hadn't thought twice when he approved it, never realizing a reminder of innocence trailed behind her. He had barely spoken to the child except offering a cookie from the kitchen and asking if she liked cartoons. Mia had looked up at him with big, hopeful eyes and said, "You look lonely but nice." And now, this card. His throat tightened painfully, unfamiliar heat stinging behind his eyes. For years, people gifted him luxury whiskey, gold pens, invitations to charity galas, never love, never sincerity. He had money, power, control, but this tiny card, written by hands that still spelled things backwards, hit him harder than any business triumph ever had. Without thinking, he stood, card trembling in his grasp, and headed straight to the estate. When he walked in, staff froze, confused by his unannounced arrival. Elena rushed forward, startled. "Mr. Hale? Did something happen?" He held up the card, voice unsteady. "She wrote this for me." Elena panicked, flustered. I'm so sorry, sir. She found out it was your birthday from the kitchen staff. I told her not to bother you. Please don't be upset. She just..." He shook his head, the emotion in his voice raw, fragile. "This card is the greatest gift I've received in years." Elena stared, stunned. "Sir?" His voice softened, breaking slightly. "Your daughter saw me." "Really saw me?" Elena swallowed, tears forming. She sees when people are sad. "She noticed you looked lonely." He breathed shakily. She was right. Silence filled the room, not awkward but heavy with truth neither had voiced before. He kneeled to Mia, who peeked shyly from behind a chair, and placed a small velvet box in her hands. "Thank you for making my birthday real." Inside was a tiny gold star necklace, simple, beautiful. "Because you brought light." The little girl gasped and hugged him without hesitation, and for the first time in years, he let himself be held. Elena wiped tears, overwhelmed. "Mr. Hale, He rose, looking directly at her. "No one has given me kindness without wanting something. Until her." Then quietly, vulnerably, he added, "I don't want you two struggling. I want to help, be in your lives. If you let me." Elena trembled at his sincerity. She wasn't used to rich men offering anything but orders. "Why?" she whispered. "Because for the first time in a decade," he said, voice thick, "someone reminded me I'm human, and I don't want that feeling to disappear." Mia tugged his sleeve. "Does that mean we can eat cake together?" He laughed, a soft, broken, healing laugh. "Yes, we can eat cake." And in that moment, the lonely CEO, who once had everything except love, found hope again. Not from power, not from wealth, but from a handmade birthday card, a kind nanny, and a little girl who believed even the saddest hearts could smile again. The estate kitchen filled with the warm scent of vanilla and candles as the three of them sat around a small dining table. Not the grand formal hall where Adrian usually dined alone with silence as his only companion. Mia swung her legs happily, humming as she colored on napkins, while Adrian and Elena exchanged shy glances like two people learning how to be vulnerable again. When the cake arrived, a simple homemade vanilla sponge the chef whipped up in a rush, Mia clapped enthusiastically. "Make a wish," she said, her face glowing with excitement. Adrian looked at the tiny flame like it held the power to change everything. What did he even wish for? He had spent years wishing for bigger deals, more acquisitions, better numbers. None of them gave him what this little moment did. So he closed his eyes and wished quietly, "Let this be real. Let them stay." When he blew out the candle, Mia cheered like he'd won a championship. Elena watched, chest aching at how natural he looked, smiling, laughing, letting his guard fall piece by piece. Later, as Mia napped on the sofa clutching her new necklace, Elena wiped the table nervously, afraid to look up. "Mr. Hale," she began, unsure. "Adrian," he corrected softly. "Please." She paused, then nodded. "Adrian, I want to thank you. But I don't want you to feel obligated to us. We're just two ordinary people." He stepped closer, voice low but sincere. "Ordinary doesn't give this world meaning. People like you do. People like her do." Elena's eyes shimmered, but she forced her voice to stay steady. "I don't want pity." He shook his head firmly. "This isn't pity. This is the first time I want something that isn't measured in stock value or shareholder reports." That made her look up, and in his eyes she saw a man stripped of armor, someone desperate not for admiration, but belonging. Just then, Mia stirred and mumbled sleepily, "Mommy, is he gonna stay for dinner?" Elena froze, but Adrian smiled. "If you'll have me." Mia, half asleep, reached out a tiny hand. Without hesitation, he took it gently, sitting beside her as if drawn by gravity. Elena watched the scene, heart trembling. This billionaire who could buy anything, choosing instead to sit quietly beside a sleeping child like it was the most precious duty in the world. "I don't want today to end," he murmured, almost to himself. "It doesn't have to," Elena whispered before fear rushed in and she looked away, embarrassed by her own honesty. But Adrian didn't look away. "Then don't let it," he said. Standing, he reached for his phone, instinctively ready to call the world back into control. But for once, he didn't dial business partners or executives. He called his assistant. "Harper," he said calmly, "clear my next week." She nearly choked. "Sir, a whole week?" "Yes, I'll be unavailable." He ended the call before she could protest. Elena stared like she couldn't believe what she just heard. "Adrian, why would you do that?" His answer was simple and raw. "Because if I don't give life a chance now, I never will." Mia blinked awake fully now, rubbing her eyes. "Are you staying forever?" she asked innocently. And before logic could interfere, before fear could make him retreat, Adrian knelt beside her again. "I would like to," he whispered. Elena felt tears burn as Mia wrapped her little arms around his neck again. But this time, he hugged back without hesitation. And in that quiet living room, with sunlight spilling soft gold and a small child's arms around him, a lonely billionaire who once only chased success finally began chasing something else, something real, fragile, and terrifying, a family.